everybody. Kevin Harned, Ryan Hoke with you on a cold Monday. How's everybody doing? How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing all right.
I think we're freezing to death in here, though.
Yeah.
It's cold in this building, too.
I woke up so early. I couldn't sleep last night. I think I was excited a little bit about the snow and then excited about our new weather format that we sort of launched today to do weather more frequent throughout each half hour. So you're sort of getting it in bits. I mean, the research that went into that sort of like, well, you consume it like on Facebook or all the social media realms, sort of like
and that's on our newscast,
nuggets.
By the way. I know a lot of you watch just exclusively here on streaming, so nothing's changing here, but our newscasters
what do you
are
mean
changing.
You do a newscast?
Yeah. There's so many folks that either don't watch us or are out of market and more curious about what's happening here.
Yeah, well, we're not on here all the time in the evenings. Of course, Brian is every day in the mornings, and then in the evenings when we have alert days, which we do, we'll pop on and give a quick update about what's happening. So we'll give a little bit of time to get folks settled in. Things have calmed down. The skies are clearing and the temperatures are tumbling, and I don't think we got a whole lot of problems to worry about tonight, but some folks may have thought that this morning, and boy, that snow came down pretty good, and the rate of snow really compounded problems for the bridges and overpasses. We had the one wreck down in West Point, and boy, that really caused some problems. In fact, fatality there, so that made it tough.
Yeah, that was the bridge over the Salt River down there, and it's no surprise given how those bridges and overpasses can freeze a lot more readily than the ground, the roads that are connected to the soil here. So our soil temperatures were still quite elevated today. That's why if you did see a little white on the grass, it didn't last very long because we're coming off of, pretty normal temperatures for fall and getting ready to plunge into quite the cold period here for the next 24 hours.
Yeah, we'll keep the alert day intact through tomorrow morning. And the reasoning behind that is anything that may have melted or if we had any residual precipitation that could have frozen, we would have a few isolated slick spots. The best opportunity for that would be the bridges and the overpasses. So just out of safety's sake, we will keep that on tap until tomorrow morning. And then that will expire and we won't have any major problems.
Yeah, so we are definitely looking at the potential for temperatures tomorrow morning to be at their coldest point since March 2nd of this year. That's when we got down to 21 degrees. This will be the coldest point since then. So kind of, extrapolate out a little bit here. We're heading into winter kind of on the other side of things.
Yeah, it's already down to 31. We spent much of the day, by the way, with temperatures flirting right around 31, 32 degrees. We did make it up to 34 this afternoon. I mean, that sounds like a heat wave compared to the teens and 20s that we're talking about for tonight in terms of temperature and wind chill, right? Yeah,
everything is relative, especially this time of year, because it can be either in the 70s or in the teens and 20s, right?
Yeah. Well, you'll see our temperature surrounding us in the 20s, and you'll notice our feel-like temperature or that wind chill that we talk about down in the lower 20s. Louisville 22, only to be, eclipsed by Covington, the coldest, wind chill 16, Lexington 19. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty. You get the teens in here for the wind chill this early in the season. That's a little shock to the system.
I don't think we're ready for our furnace heating bills to be this high this early, right? Our gas bill is going to be nuts trying to go through, at least 2 nights of 20s like this in a row.
Well, and if it's following everything else, it seems so exaggerated and extremely expensive. It's going to be obnoxious.
Oh, fun. Oh, that'll be fun to look forward to at the end of the month then. Yeah, congratulations, everyone.
Hey, I put the last 12 hours up on the satellite and radar view, so you'll notice those snow showers that pushed through this morning. They had a little punch to them, especially just out to our west. Places in Du Bois County, down through Orange, Crawford. Then that streamed into parts of Meade and even northern Hardin County. That is where we saw a pretty good burst of snow covered the ground.
Yeah, it did. And here in Louisville, we didn't see as much. Southern Indiana, not quite as much either. But notice what's happened tonight. Those snow showers have left us for the most part. However, there are just a few flurries in parts of Indiana, mainly near like Paoli, Jasper. A lot of what you see on the radar right now is ground clutter. However, what Kevin is circling there, that's actually snowflake activity. And that should fade away here over the next hour or so, just because, Kevin, we lost the heating of the day. And a lot of these snow showers and flurries were powered up by the instability of the heating of the day causes.
Yeah, no question about that. And the good news is these should not cause a lot of problems either. We've been keeping an eye on the road temperatures, pavement temperatures. Most of those are above freezing. So with as weak as they are, as light as the snow is coming down, should alleviate any problems. This is the wider setup of what we have going on. The area of low pressure up in the northeast, of course, responsible for some heavier snow as you work your way into far eastern parts of New York, pushing into Vermont, New Hampshire. And on the backside of this, the fetch down the lake, that is where we're starting to see some of that lake effect snow kick back in across Indiana. And boy, we had that this morning. Now, Chicago didn't get as much snow as they first thought they may. Of course, it sits just on the edge of the lake. So most of it came down into northern Indiana. So places, the suburbs of Chicago and Indiana, Gary, Hammond, Crown Point, Maryville, they picked up a tremendous amount of snow.
Even a degree difference in wind direction can make a huge difference as to who gets the snow up there. And that's why Chicago kind of lost out, whereas those southern and southeastern suburbs got a whole lot of it. You can see those pavement temperatures now.
Yeah, and the 1 out 64, we referenced that, and I heard you talk about it at 7, that it is below freezing on the pavement, but you'll notice the air temperature 29, the pavement there, likely because it's a bridge or near the bridge, that air circulating around it. So it's important to note that it's the bridges and the overpasses that will freeze first, obviously, because of that circulation. No insulation by the ground.
And that's why we always say be careful around bridges and overpasses, especially in a setup like this here. You see, most of the other pavement temps are above freezing right now, and those pavement temps likely will get pretty close to, if not go below freezing early tomorrow morning, because they'll be exposed to this, temps in the 20s.
Yeah, going to be cold tomorrow morning. These are just temperatures. You factor in the wind chill, and we're talking teens for early tomorrow. So bundle up as you head out. Pay attention to the bridges and overpasses. If it looks wet, it could very well be slick. So just give yourself a little extra time and pay attention to the bridges and the overpasses. We say that often, but with these morning lows in the 20s, any of that moisture on the bridge and overpasses will freeze.
And it's not just us. The National Weather Service also kind of pointing out with a special weather statement for the overnight that this could happen. These bridges freeze first because the cold air circulates underneath the bridge. You don't have that with a road that's connected directly to the ground there. And because of that circulation, the temperature drops a whole lot faster. And that's why bridges and overpasses freeze first before the roads do when your temperature is heading downward.
Yeah, and we'll see that, this is just the beginning of the winter season. So we talk about this all the time through the winter months where we wind up seeing the cold air move in and the bridges and the overpasses sometimes trip us up. So it's just an important reminder, especially at the beginning of the season here. Any snow accumulation, minor. Today it was less than 1 inch. We had places earlier that may have gotten close to a half an inch, maybe even a place or two as it looked down to our south toward Hart County, where it could have been even a little bit more than that, perhaps. But.
Yeah, they had those early day snow squalls down there. Once the heating of the day just started a little bit, kaboom, the radar really lit up down in central and southern Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm going to point out some of the snow totals that we've had. Here in Louisville, it'll go down in the books as just a trace. So we haven't had any measurable snow here, not a big problem for us. Crown Point, Indiana, last check, 10 inches of snow. They could be adding to that, though, tonight. Kokomo, Indiana, 3 inches. Indianapolis, 1.3. And Columbus, 0.2 of an inch of snowfall. So just shy of a quarter of an inch of snow just up the road in Columbus.
Yeah, so if you like snow, go north. That's where they typically have more this time of year.
Yeah, we're not out of the snow guest contest, though. I thought I'd put these up, all right? So everybody's still in it. No one picked November the 10th. The earliest is you. You picked the 5th. December.
Yeah, I'm still feeling pretty good about that, by the way.
You are?
Yeah.
Because the long range data is very warm.
It is until about that point.
Okay.
Yes, Thanksgiving may very well be warm until we get into December, and then fun and games may very well commence again. So I'm not changing my stance. I think December 5th is somewhere around where it could be.
Well, good. I went way late. I went with the climate. I think that being in this La Nina trend where we're just swinging everywhere, it's hard to get an inch of snow, right? I mean, today, well, it wasn't going to happen.
No, not today.
December 5th, I don't think it's going to happen.
We'll see who's eating crow here.
One
of us will be eating crow.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
It's fun to tease everybody. Following you would be Carson. He picked December 17th. Brian, he just went for the novelty of Christmas being a
Now,
white Christmas.
I should add, with Brian's guess of Christmas Day,
Yeah.
that is our climatological first inch of snow date here in Louisville. So there is some climatology behind that there. It's roughly around Christmas that happened. So we'll see.
Look at Blue, picked the same day as me. See, that's two. That's two of us here. We're ganging up on everybody. All right. Well, we'll see. I mean, it'd be nice to get a white Christmas, I guess. I'm not opposed to that. Tawana went right into the new year, but that's about when it happened last year.
It was. Yep.
Oh, we got walloped. And remember, it was followed by cold, and it snowed again and again. And the kids were out of school for like 2 weeks outside of Christmas break. So they were out forever. People were like, get them back in school.
I remember digging up my driveway, and it was nearly impossible because there was a little bit of sleet and freezing rain in the middle of that kind of birthday cake of snow that we had on the ground. It was terrible.
Oh, it was, I mean, the alley by my house was like, you may have well been riding on the moon. I mean, it was just like craters, you know, it was rough.
Super for your suspension.
Yeah, not good at all. And there was no shoveling it. The bad part is it's shaded, so it took forever for it to go away.
So you were dealing with that for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, it went on all the way through like half of February. No kidding. It was rough.
Yikes.
All right.
We're still complaining about last winter. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, we were over it. Then we went right into a busy, severe season too. So
snow over it.
Didn't take long.
No.
All right. That was the Snow Guest Contest. We know a lot of you folks have chimed in on that as well. Let's see if we have any questions. You want to pull up a few of those? Kelly picked up the day after you. So Kelly Bowman says, hey, she's not far from you in the early December. Kathy picked December 12th. Of course, we've had the Snow Guest Contest going. That, of course, ended when we put out our winter forecast, just to give everybody an even playing field. But we'll see. We're keeping up with those tallies. We had thousands of you enter the contest.
Yeah, and we will announce the winner once we get our first inch of snow at the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. It has to be within that 1 day span there. Anne is on my side. She said December 5th, and our friend Braden is the day after on the 6th.
Okay.
Our other friend Cameron here, December 14th.
They're all snow lovers, of course. They pick early December.
I think we're a little biased here in the chat this evening, as they say. Hello, chat. Yeah. So
come on, who's looking for more 70s and push the snow back to mid-January?
You know, we were talking about in the control room a little earlier after the 7 o'clock news that one of our team members has not turned on their heat yet. So there are still folks out there holding out. Like, I haven't. Sophia, she hasn't turned on her heat yet.
Oh, really?
Yes. She says, just haven't done it yet. Yeah. She hasn't done it yet. Yeah. So, and I know there are folks out there, but
I heard Olivia talking about it on the, I don't know if it was midday or sunrise this morning or wherever I was watching, but she said, you know, because she's in an apartment and the heat rises, she's like, she hadn't had to turn hers up either.
Yeah, because you get the residual heat from everybody else's apartment under you. So
let's them pay the bill.
So you don't have to pay the gas bill. And then you've got Tina here says, I've been wearing a jacket for over a month now. And that's me with my furnace. We turned ours on, back in October here.
Yeah. Oh, look at Don. Don's chiming in. 2 people to discuss a slick spot with a big red logo. I think he meant
to incite.
Yeah, not incident, but fear. But we won't talk about his spelling. No, Don, that's not what we're doing. We're just letting you know what's going on. So if you don't want to participate, you don't have to be on the stream. It's that easy.
Another Tina says she turned her furnace on just last night in Campbellsville. Okay. So, I mean, there are still some folks out there.
I don't get the whole hold out. Like, if you're cold and you're going to be uncomfortable in your house, you know, I mean, I get that it can be expensive, and if it's an issue of paying the bill,
now that's an issue.
That's a whole different story.
Sure.
But you know, there's help for that too. But yeah, I don't think I'd want to be uncomfortable, like just struggling it out for the fun of it. In other words,
and I've talked to
the difference between having to struggle and wanting to.
I had a conversation with my HVAC guy who comes and services, you know, the furnace and the air conditioner. And I asked him, I said, you know, is it better when you're not at home or you're away from your house for a few days to leave the temperature way low on there to save money? Or should you only turn it down just a few degrees? And he said, only a couple degrees really, because it takes more energy perhaps to heat your home back up
Sure.
and to get it back to the temperature you want it once you get back than just kind of bouncing it around at a temperature that's a couple degrees below what you normally have it at. So we've changed our habits, and it's better for your furnace and for its longevity to do it that way.
Well, and now they have these, like the Nest thermostats.
That's what I have.
And,
Yeah.
and you can program it to where it's not doing excess work, and that way it's sort of moderating as it goes,
Bingo.
which is a lot less stress on the system.
Yeah, you want those things to last a long time.
Right.
Braden says he likes it cold in his house. He says 66 degrees is the coldest. I'll let it go.
Yeah, that's pretty chilly.
Yeah, that's kind of our away mode. That's 66 degrees for us, and then 68, once you get home.
Yeah, 68 to 70s comfortable for me.
Got to save that money. Of course, our friend Todd here says I wore shorts and a short sleeve shirt.
Well, I'm
to my
surprised you
doctor's
put on
appointment
clothes
today.
this time.
I told her I'm protesting winter.
How that? Yeah, I don't even want to know how that went. Actually, I was going to be nice and be curious how it went, but I really don't. I don't even care.
During a temperature drop on Sunday.
Todd knows I'm kidding.
Oh yes, he does. He's a good friend of ours. That during that temperature drop Sunday night, the wind was up and the wind chill was like 30. Saw a guy at the store wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and I was like, oh my gosh! Like I was cold just looking at him there.
I had shorts and a sweatshirt on. I'm kind of one of those guys. I don't like to be hot. And typically I'm kind of hot natured anyway. So just putting the shorts on is good. And then if I have to go outside or whatever, a hoodie or sweatshirt's good.
Yeah. To each their own.
Yeah.
Right?
Whatever works.
You like your Midwestern winter look there. That's how everybody in Minnesota dresses in the winter.
I'm not sure it's really a look that I know about, but it's there. All right. A few more folks chiming in. Appreciate everybody in here. I grew up with a wood stove, so I know what this is.
Yes.
Bodie says, when highs are in the 20s, I'll fire up the wood stove. Yeah. Boy, you talk about cranking out some heat. I remember we never really, I guess my dad did, and there were folks on the farm that we'd load up the wood and it was chopped. But I remember having to split the wood and stack it and then haul it in. I always hated that. Talk about chores. I don't know why that seemed like such a big deal as a kid, but it was.
It's, the axe is heavy, the wood is heavy, everything is heavy. And when you're a kid, it's just twice as hard to do it.
Heavy.
Yeah.
All right. I want to put up Wavy here before we roll. If anybody's been watching Wave Weather Now, Louisville's only 24/7 weather live stream, you've seen that Wavy has been busy throughout the day today.
Yeah, indeed. We had all those MPing reports come in, kind of fast and furious, telling us not only what kind of precipitation folks were seeing, but also it was kind of amazing that they've got a snow squall button on there now, too, if you've got the MPing app or radar scope to make those reports. So we were able to see where folks were seeing those low visibilities due to heavy snowfall rates. So that was helpful to not only us, but to live stream viewers as well, because you folks were able to see that in real time.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to switch us back over here. We're going to take a quick break. I do want to come back and show you the warmer weather that's in the 10-day earliest alert. So hang with us for just a second. A quick break. We'll recue the graphics, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back with you. We've got some warmer temperatures to talk about in that 10-day forecast here. Let's jump to it. We begin the warm-up really tomorrow, sends us back into the 40s. That'll be fairly nice. But then we get crushed by those wind speeds, 25, 30 miles an hour, that are going to bring down more leaves. So that just means more work.
Oh, great. Yeah, more work.
Get the rake out.
Yes, or chop up the leaves with your mower.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's work smarter, not harder, right? The atmosphere is going to be doing some work to give us those temperatures in the 70s by the end of the week, all thanks to that warm southwesterly wind here. So you see those high temperatures there in the 60s
that's
by Wednesday.
And Thursday is more of the same. But then, of course, we yield into Friday and Saturday with those very warm temperatures before the next storm system moves in. And this means highs in the 70s. You'll see that on the temperature trend here. We work our way up Saturday, and then we come back down to reality, taking us back into the 50s and 60s for the end of the weekend and early next week. So that's essentially what it looks like as we look ahead. And here is the 10-day earliest alert. You can see that thunderstorm chance rolling in by late in the weekend, early next week.
And that doesn't look to be a huge deal right now. In fact, a lot of the data today was kind of extinguishing that storm chance. So that's why I lowered it down to 30%. May have to keep lowering that here. The two areas of low pressure will be moving through, kind of splitting us in the middle. And that's a good thing. That keeps the severe weather away from us, most likely.
Ann saying, I do like the evening weather blog. Well, we're glad you jumped on and chimed in with us, Ann. We appreciate that. Snow was sticking down in the grassy areas of Grayson County, says Tina. And sun coming in from Arizona on Saturday, Albert said.
Oh, good flying weather there. Yeah, that'll feel really good.
And it's coming right into some warm weather. Speaking of warm, they've been really warm out there, too, over the last several weeks.
Which makes sense because we've been kind of in this trough here. They'd be in a ridge out to the west. So warm weather in the western U.S.
Yeah, I can handle the 60s and 70s. That's where we sort of should be this time of year, at least in the 60s, right?
Yeah, 70s, a little bit of a stretch, but
Yeah.
60s for sure. Yeah, not snow.
I didn't feel like we had much in the way of 70s, but I say that every year. I think.
Because we always want more, right? This isn't San Diego, California.
We're always like throttling up or down, right?
Welcome to living at the mid-latitudes here, right? Continentality. It's fun to see how the temperature goes nuts around here.
Hey, just in time for Christmas, can we get a wavy plushie?
Fun, yes. Those suckers are expensive to make. I have to look into that, though.
Oh, the plushie?
Yeah. You got to have a manufacturer, a designer.
Yeah.
That gets a little crazy.
All right. And Jeremy creatively noticed no sub-freezing nights in the 10 days.
Yes, that's a good thing there. That'll help with our energy bills to pay for what we have to deal with here.
Kimberly's saying, are we adding this daily? Well, we always do it when there is either an upcoming alert day or during an alert day for the evenings. But I have a feeling in the next few months, once we get into the new year, you'll start seeing more and more of us here during the evening hours as well. So a lot of things really coming in. It is 8:30. Jose Zazaya is standing by. He has some news to update everybody on.
He's waiting very patiently.
Yeah, so we're going to bail off of here. Say thank you for jumping on with us for this half hour. And when we come back at 11 o'clock, we'll have an update on what's happening around the area. Let you know if there's anything to worry about for tomorrow morning. The alert day, probably still going to hold on to it just for those isolated slick spots. And then it's all about the warmer temperatures coming our way for the middle and latter part of the week.
There you go. So no more snow, at least for a while here.
Yeah, a one-day winter blast. We can handle that. All right, thanks for joining us. See you back at 11 o'clock.